What's up everybody, John the Pilot. I'm going to be talking about the DECO AX1800 Superior Mesh Wi-Fi system. I'm going to be setting it up. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. You're going to see in another video in the past that I had a different DECO system. I ended up sending it back because it did not have WPA3 encryption. And the reason why is I found out that criminals are out there making these little devices that can interrogate your Wi-Fi signal. And if you have a Ring video doorbell, what happens is the Wi-Fi internet connection gets disrupted, so it doesn't record any video and they can get away scot-free. So that's why I made sure that I got this stuff right here where it says, if you can see it, it says WPA3 encryption. It's pretty important this day and age, something to think about. I have a link down in the description if you're interested in this, but we're gonna go ahead and go over how it works, how well it works, if I've lost any speed, and how it all ties together with the Verizon 5G gateway. Let's check it out. This is the iOS DECO app. Real simple, straightforward. You install it, you find what you have for your DECO, and then you follow the instructions. First thing I gotta do is I gotta unplug the network. There's my 5G gateway, so I'm just gonna unplug it right here. Boom, that just killed my whole network. Connect the LAN port. I think I'm just gonna try to do it direct here, see how that ends up working out. I think it should be fine because it's just plug and play. So I'll actually grab this and then I'm gonna use it as a backhaul capability later on. And I'm gonna end up moving this piece later because I don't wanna have it here. I actually wanna have it downstairs. So everything's just gonna get plugged in all at the same time here. All right, I'm getting a green light there on the DECO. So I don't know if that's good or bad yet. It should be pretty self-explanatory. So that's on. It's looking for a white light still. It's not exactly there. Oh, it's flashing, but it'll look for a signal. It's kind of like a green yellow. I do remember in the box it showed that it would take time for it to get set. Still waiting for the Verizon 5G gateway to go ahead and get its signal. Wait until your DECO's LED pulses blue. Okay, so it's not ready. It's solid yellow. It's still starting up. Pulsing blue. That's good news. All right, pulsing blue, it's your DECO is ready for setup. Turn on Wi-Fi to find your DECO. Wi-Fi is on, it's looking for the DECO. Join it, that's what it looks like. As I'm searching with my iPad, it's looking for the DECO. And you can see right here where it's connected, it's actually talking, it's in the network. Still waiting on a solid white light from the 5G though. Okay, it says it found it, and it's connected to the DECO. All right, where have I placed this DECO? I'm gonna go ahead and just say it's the living room, even though it won't be, but it eventually will be in the living room, if that makes sense. Enter the information provided by your ISP. It's gonna create my local network. I'm gonna make a name for it. Got a solid white light on the gateway, so that's a good sign. All right, it's creating my Wi-Fi network. Hopefully this is pretty straightforward and simple. I'm gonna be using the Ethernet port as a backhaul to help back up and make sure everything works pretty quickly. And then what I'm gonna do is go in the office and down in living room, I'm gonna set up a DECO. It says it's creating my Wi-Fi. Okay, I'm connecting to it. Join, found it, connected. Cool. I'm on my new Wi-Fi network. I'm gonna go ahead and test the internet connection. DECO is now online. DECO network is set up. Please connect all devices to the DECO network for better connections. Cool. This should be pretty easy. Add more DECOs. Plug the other included DECO units, and these DECO units would be automatically to the network within 2 minutes. Okay. Cool. Wow. Test the internet speed. Let's see how that goes. Test the speed. Alright, we're doing it. Wow, okay, that's not bad. 312 megabytes, and I got 23.2 megabytes uploaded. Wow, that's pretty cool. Awesome. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and set up WP. Alright, let's see. Go to the Wi-Fi settings, security. I'm going to change it to WPA3. Alright, WPA3 set up. That's simple. I'm going to save it, and now it should be good to go. So everything looks good. I'm going to leave that plugged in. We're going to go hook up the office. Here's the old NETGEAR setup, which I'll be switching out for the DECO. So I need to get my NETGEAR Gigaport switch set up. And what I do is I take off the little stickies on the back, and I've actually done some 3M Velcro tape. It's been a lot easier to stick it to the wall, and just in case if I need to move stuff, it's really easy to just take off. And right here is just pretty straightforward. You're setting it up, you're hooking up the Ethernet ports. You know, me, I like my cable management. You can see I start twisty tying stuff, make sure it's out of the way. You can see Here's the office. I got rid of that old NETGEAR Wi-Fi router, so I've got to hook up all my Ring devices and whatnot. What I'm going to do is basically set up the DECO and have Backhaul going through this network device. Okay, so I've got the DECO set up, got it set up to the NETGEAR, got it plugged in, and I'm gonna go grab my iPad and see how it connects. It says it should do it automatically. All right, it's got the solid yellow light like what it said before. I'm updating the firmware on the app. It's rebooting. Okay, that one's doing a solid blue boot. I'm gonna have to wait for everything to get all set back up. And then what I'll do is just test to make sure that I'm not losing Wi-Fi throughout the house, which will be great. Okay, so this one's green. Now I'm just trying to figure out how I add it. So how do I do this? So it turns out I was making things a little bit more difficult than I needed to, and this DECO is pretty simple. It sets itself up, and I thought I had to go into the app and try to add DECOs. It does it all on its own. They're linked to each other. It's super smart. So the next part is just it rebooting and doing what it needs to do, and it shows red and green, and then it figures itself out. It's really simple. Here, check it out. So I just did that transfer. Now I've got a red light. Okay, it was red, now it's green. Or maybe it was just a hiccup or something. So I'm gonna leave that there. Here's the network change. You remember the 5G, or excuse me, not 5G, the NETGEAR was here. It's not there anymore. I've got a new switch, and I also kind of added some electrical capability. Now that's how that's gonna be set up. All I gotta do is just make sure my Ring video cameras are set up through the mesh Wi-Fi now, so that it has WPA3 technology for encryption because of the criminals. I'm gonna see if I can kind of do an example of how that would look on your Ring cam if you were going to be having anybody messing with your security cams, especially Rings, okay? So the best way I can show that your Ring camera gets interrogated by this flipper zero thing, the picture that I showed you in the beginning, or even something else that criminals make with a bunch of the hodgepodge stuff from Amazon. It's not that hard to figure out how to make an interference signal jammer. What happens is you get video, but it looks like it has a freeze frame. And it does it just perfectly where you should be seeing somebody, but then they seem to just magically disappear and they're not in the video, or the video is just not there. So this is the best way I could kind of show that happening. And it's obviously through editing, but it's out there and it's happening to a lot of people. So this is the DECO that I set up in right next to the gateway. What I'm gonna do is transfer it here. Hopefully it's just plug and play. I got the yellow light right now. There's the yellow light you can see, and then hopefully it'll change here. Give it some time. Because that was the main one that was connected to the 5G gateway. Well, it wasn't, it was through the point, through the access point, but we're gonna see how this works here. I wanna have it down here more local. Okay, it's red right now, so that means there's an issue. However, the other one was red before and it fixed it, so there it is, it's green, it's ready to rock. Okay, I'm connected to Wi-Fi. Do a test. Okay, it was doing about what it was doing before. I think it's got to find itself and figure itself out, but I think 80 megabits right now is probably going to be enough for it to do what it needs to do. All right, a little recap. There's the DECO. I got it plugged directly into the 5G gateway. It's no longer plugged into the switch. And I've been getting pretty consistently right here, 260. Right now I'm connected to the DECO Wi-Fi. Go ahead and run the speed test. And this is kind of poopy. But I've been getting generally anywhere from like what you're seeing right here to all the way up to about 260 megs of the new system that I have set up. It was doing 250 earlier. The one thing that I've been noticing about these mesh Wi-Fis is that they have to kind of sit for a while, and I guess if there's an AI protocol, I kind of showed you how the app works on the operating. There really isn't much to get into. The learning lesson for me was the first time I set up the first DECO, when I went through the app, be very careful how you plug it in and you do it. It'll tell you to unplug your modem or your router first thing, then plug in your first DECO, puck, or whatever you want to call it, and plug in the modem at the same time. And that kind of tells your app and that deco that it's going to be the main one. I haven't tried to figure out how to revamp or retry the whole system, so now I know that that deco is the original one I first plugged in. That's the one that always shows up as the main one when it comes to the app, and I can't change them around. So that's something to consider. The other thing is it says that these TP-Link decos use some type of AI to figure out how they talk to each other so you can have your mesh Wi-Fi. I'm not too smart on it, but I've noticed the longer you let them sit and the longer you let them establish themselves, what happens is they'll eventually start picking up the megabyte speed. As far as backhaul is concerned, I have it set up for backhaul. What I've been noticing is that it seems like the backhaul has to figure itself out because there's no option when you go in the app to just turn it on. So that's been quite interesting. And these decos themselves have 2 Ethernet ports on the back in order to use that backhaul feature, because I want to use it just so I can have the most internet, or the fastest internet experience as possible while I'm just moving through my house. One thing has been awesome, I haven't been having to switch networks. And another thing that's awesome is it has WPA3. The WPA3 is the new encryption technology that allows your secure devices, such as like if you have any Ring cameras or any kind of wireless cameras or security system, you allow them to connect to WPA3. It's one more hassle that hackers have to try to get through, which I'm sure they've probably already figured out. But there's some really interesting videos on how Ring doorbells and spotlight cams and all those have been missing video footage, and it's nothing magic or that they dropped the signal. It's just these criminals are going around building little devices that block out the internet signal, which tells the device to not record. So that's about all I have for setting up mesh Wi-Fi. It's straightforward. I got to give it that. You plug it in. Be careful when you set up your first deco puck or whatever you want to call it, because that one is set as the main one and it won't change, and that kind of tells the system how to work. Another thing with backhaul, it's just, I did some digging and I went on the forums. There's no way to turn it on or turn it off. What happens is you just use an Ethernet port on the back and it automatically figures out how to backhaul. And that's the best information I could find. I have put a link down in the description for this particular setup. On Amazon, it runs about 170 bucks. I do have it set up to return just in case if I don't like this. There are cons with the system. When you do buy it, it comes with the 3 pucks. It only comes with 1 set of the Ethernet cable, so you have to buy more on your own if you're interested in doing the backhaul. So I have a link down in the description for cost-effective Ethernet cables if you're interested as well. So that is a con. But 170 bucks. It comes with WPA3 security, and that WPA3 security is supposed to, for a time, help to prevent your Wi-Fi signal from being interrupted. This specific setup does have Wi-Fi 6 technology, where the one that I had before did not, and it only went up to WPA2 or WPSK for the security system. There is an option to get TP Shield, which I haven't even explored yet, and the whole point of this though I do like, which has been awesome, is I can take my device, which is generally my phone, because I'll hook it up to the internet and I'll go from one side of my house to the other side of my house. I don't have to worry about searching for networks whatsoever, which makes it easy, and that is what I was really looking for. As of right now though, I've been getting between, you've seen it, 40 megs up to 280 megs when it comes to the speed test, depending on where I am in the house, and it's just been various. So it is what it is. Definitely $170 buy. There are systems out there that I've seen that TP-Link makes all the way up to $1,000. I'm not willing to pay that much, because what I'm trying to do is give information about how to save money, especially when Xfinity was totally taking advantage of me and my family for $300 a month. It was just insane. So if you like this video, please subscribe, throw some comments down below, tell me you got some value. I got other videos coming out. Sorry it's been so long. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it. Otherwise, you guys know the story. John the Pilot. See ya.